That moment by model and actor Amber Rose reinforcing a part of the new GOP platform no longer explicitly opposing same-sex marriage, a shift from the party's traditional view. Joining us now is Charles Moran. He's president of the Log Cabin Republicans, the nation's largest GOP organization, dedicated to representing LGBTQ plus conservatives. Charles, from your organization's perspective, how big of a moment was this in the shift in language on the platform?
Tom, this has been probably one of the most important things that's happened in the Republican Party history, where we've really seen a modernization. And it shows that this new Republican Party, led by Donald Trump, has put his DNA into the party. This platform is welcoming, it's inclusive. This is the most radical and revolutionary way to make the Republican Party competitive in many years.
The former First Lady, Melania Trump, had a fundraiser that you attended for your group, the Log Cabin Republicans. I don't want to say a couple years ago, but maybe a decade ago, that might have been unheard of. Talk to me about why this is so important to her, and what did she tell your group?
I mean, I think the First Lady consistently talks about the term unity, and I think we've seen a lot of that language used at this convention and used by President Trump, bringing all Americans together. This isn't about putting people in little boxes and pitting them against one another, and that's so much as what we see about American politics. Mrs. Trump is trying to get all of this country to come together to face our mutual challenges, and she sees supporting a group like ours and helping elevate our stature and our work as being able to help create a more perfect union.
There have been groups that have serious concerns with some of the language that Senator J.D. Vance has used, that it is homophobic. Sometimes there's language used here that people may interpret to be homophobic. Are you worried that maybe you're being accepted for your votes, but people don't believe that you should actually be able to get married, and they believe in the type of person you are?
Well, I think Donald Trump has had a long history as a philanthropist and a businessman, and now a politician, as being supportive and inclusive. We've seen this shift in the Republican Party model that, so that's actually really important. But don't confuse a commitment to parental rights and traditional biological gender issues as being something as homophobic. We know that most of this country agrees in protecting women's spaces, preserving women's sports, ensuring parental rights at every level, and really looking at the issue of gender transition under the age of 18. These are common sense issues. This isn't necessarily something that's, quote, homophobic.
I think you're drawing an important distinction, but we should sort of walk our viewers through this, because we have heard from this stage several speakers that don't support transgender rights, that say kids who transition should not be playing in sports. And is that what you're saying as well? Do you agree with that platform, even though you're part of an LGBTQ group?
Just because that you're gay doesn't necessarily mean that you're ignoring the inherent biology, that somebody who is transgender is biologically different than somebody of the gender that they've changed to. This is just pure science, and it's common sense. You've got people like Caitlyn Jenner, who is a biological man, she's a transgender woman, who has stood up and said, I am somebody who, competes against men because biologically that's where I was. This is, you can't take the issues around, politicization around things that are simple biology, and this is where, again, we've seen Joe Biden gut Title IX, one of the most important things for the women's rights movement, being thrown out the window for political expediency.
Do you agree the language, though, could maybe be toned down a little bit? You grew up a gay man. I'm sure that was not easy in America. You know what it's like to be called out or to be made fun of or to be ostracized, I would think. When you hear some of the language here, though, does it make you say, maybe we should have a conversation, maybe we can deliver that message differently?
Well, this is what we're doing in Log Cabin Republicans, is working with the Republican Party to message these things. What we're hearing on the stage today is conversations about parental rights, about liberty, and honestly, that's where J.D. Vance's focus has been. The things that the gay left are accusing him of being homophobic or transphobic, he's working with the legislation limitedly that he's introduced, and some of the things he's talked about. It's about ensuring religious freedom. It's about ensuring liberty and ensuring the ability for parents to really have control over their kids' education. These aren't LGBT rights issues. These are just issues surrounding freedom and liberty and taking back control from a government bureaucracy that wants to tell people how to live their lives.
Did the First Lady say that the president, former President Trump, her husband, actually cares about these issues?
We don't even need Mrs. Trump to tell us, as President Trump tells us that directly. I had a convening in Las Vegas of over the top 100 LGBT Republican leaders in my organization, and President Trump called in to talk to us directly. I don't need Melania to do that, but Melania is also, she's her own woman, and she talks about, these values of inclusivity and freedom that she and the president both share.
Mr. Moran, it's great to have you here. Thank you for sharing that. We appreciate you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.